WLBT, 3 on your side. WLBT News starts now.
Good morning. It is 6:30. I'm First Alert meteorologist Julia Wyden. Sun just about to come up in a couple minutes from now. Looks like a beautiful start to our day. When it comes to the conditions outside, again, the temps are on the cool side for what we've been getting used to, but pretty normal for this time of year. We're at 45 in Jackson, 50 in Natchez, and 50 as well in Macomb. Let's take you live outside. Want to show you a couple of the views. Again, downtown Jackson looking really gorgeous this morning with the sun just getting ready to come on up. If you're going to be commuting along I-55, maybe passing the Briarwood exit, looks like everything is going easily there. And same for County Line Road, no problems in that direction. A lot of folks are going to be flying today, and we're going to check in on the travel forecast for you. But as for now, should not have any problems getting on over to the Jackson Airport. More in the forecast in a couple minutes.
We're on the scene of breaking news this morning. A fire that put 38 people out of their homes in Raymond reignited this morning.
Our Jewel Hillary has been tracking the story all morning long. She joins us now from the scene live with the latest. Jewel, what can you tell us? A Richland man will spend the next 25 years in prison for an accident that led to the death of a Belhaven University student athlete.
District Attorney Michael Guest confirms 30-year-old Reginald Davis received the sentence after pleading guilty to DUI. On Christmas Eve, Belhaven football player Trey Rich was riding his bicycle home from his job at FedEx in Richland when Davis's car hit and killed him. Davis admitted to drinking at least 6 beers prior to that crash.
Former Subway pitchman Jared Fogle, now at the Henderson County Detention Center. Fogle was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in prison for trading in child pornography and having sex with underage prostitutes. His stay in Henderson will only be temporary. He could be there anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks before being sent off to prison to fulfill his sentence. The judge recommended that Fogle be sent to a prison in Littleton, Colorado because of its program for sex offenders. Happening today, the NAACP will hold a rally in Minnesota after a fatal officer-involved shooting over the weekend. The NAACP will join Black Lives Matter protesters in Minneapolis, calling for more transparency in the investigation of 24-year-old Jamar Clark's death. Clark was shot in the head by police officers Sunday after they responded to an alleged domestic dispute. Also in the day ahead, the governor and Secretary of State will meet to break the tie in the House District 79 race here in Mississippi.
Yeah, Democratic incumbent Bo Eaton and Republican challenger Mark Tolos will draw straws to determine who is the winner. When it comes to Jackson's credit worthiness, Moody's Investor Service is downgrading the city's bond rating. Moody's said the downgrade reflects the city's deteriorating financial position. We spoke with the executive director of the MBA program at Millsaps College, who said it should be a serious wake-up call.
We're going to have to pay a higher interest rate to borrow money with this rating than we would have had to pay before.
And that doesn't help when you're
And
hurting.
that doesn't help. That just takes money out of the budget that we needed to spend on something else.
In a response, the mayor said proactive steps are being taken. He says for the first time in nearly a decade, a strategic investment policy will be implemented. And soon the city will start a comprehensive debt policy. The Nissan plant in Madison County is back in the headlines.
Yeah, this time for the production of a brand new truck. Yesterday, the Japanese automaker unveiled the new 2016 Nissan Titan XD. It is the latest vehicle to be produced at the plant near Canton. The newly redesigned pickup falls between a light-duty and heavy-duty truck.
This Titan XD will rival any automobile made for its advanced features, particularly that diesel engine, its towing power, horsepower that it has. This truck is only made in Canton, Mississippi, so this is a worldwide announcement today made right here in Canton, Mississippi with our Titan.
That Titan XD is the first of many models that will launch in the coming months.
I think the governor might have a future as a
car salesman,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Pretty good at that. That's now 6:36, and we're holding steady at 45 degrees. It's a chilly morning in the capital city.
Yeah. Next on 3, nothing's changed, but his change. Why one official says it shouldn't matter how he pays a fine, as long as he pays it. But first, your First Alert traffic and weather together. Here's a live look outside I-55 at the Natchez Trace. Still at this hour, pretty light traffic. Maybe a lot of folks took today off as kids are getting ready to start that long Thanksgiving break. Maybe you decided to take work off as well. Either way, as you head out the door, you've got smooth sailing.
And we shouldn't have any problems when it comes to the weather for the morning commute either. The temps are in the 40s and the sun is shining bright. Going to be a nice day today. Going to be really beautiful, as a matter of fact. We're going to talk more about the weekend changes, though, that are going to be taking place. We will have cooler and windier weather moving in. I've got the full details right after the break.
This is WLBT First Alert Weather.
Time is 6:40. Glad you're with us here as we start our Friday morning on WLBT.
All right, 6:42 now. Time for traffic and weather together.
Jessica Golden is live in Skycopter 3, Mississippi's only news helicopter. She has a look at how things are rolling on this TGIF. Morning, Jess.
Good morning, Joy, and a happy Friday morning, everyone. We are on Lake Drive.
4 months after a deadly shooting prompted it to close its doors, the Grand Theater in Lafayette, Louisiana is now back open. Last night, dozens of first responders, public officials, and theater patrons returned to the theater for a ribbon-cutting ceremony. It's the first time the cinema has been open since the July 23rd shooting that left 3 people, including the gunman, dead and 9 other people injured. The theater has undergone renovations. Only 5 of the theater's 16 screens showed movies last night. Tuition at Mississippi's public universities is going up next fall. In-state tuition is set to rise by an average of 4.1%, with the average price of tuition and fees topping $7,000 for the first time. Increases range from 2.5% at Alcorn State to 5% at Delta State.
Well, I want to know what you think about this story. A South Florida mayor is being sued after trying to pay a fine with coins. The Miami-Dade Commission on Ethics and Public Trust says they're suing Mayor Carlos Hernandez after he tried to pay a $4,000 fine with 28 buckets filled with pennies and nickels. Now they want to double Hernandez's fine and receive it in their legal form of payment, which is a check or money order. Hernandez says he thought the 360,000 coins were a legit way to pay, but they refused to accept his money. In July, the commission found Hernandez guilty of providing false information on an interest payment on private loans he gave to a jeweler. Well, if you plan to do some shopping over Thanksgiving, you'll have plenty of company. According to an annual survey by the National Retail Federation, an estimated 135 million folks plan to shop online and in stores on Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, and over the Thanksgiving weekend. That is about 1 million more than last year. After the weekend, Cyber Monday might even be bigger, as the survey shows about 183 million people saying they would shop that day. Well, speaking of shopping, happening today, you'll have a new place to shop as South Haven's new Tanger Outlet Mall is opening this morning.
Yep, let's go live now to Lauren Squires. She's in South Haven with more on the big grand opening today. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning. We're calling it Tanger Day here in the Mid-South.
All right. You'll remember the Outlets of Mississippi here in Pearl opened about this same time of year when they had their first big year. So
sure did. It was a big deal. They know how to get you.
Yes, indeed. Lots of folks are going to respond. Feeling 6:48 now, 45 degrees in Jackson.
Next on 3, we'll have a look at all the morning's top stories. Plus, we know her for rolling in the deep.
Listen to you.
Now she's rolling out a new album. I shouldn't do that, Julia, should I? I should let Adele do what Adele does.
You know what? It's Friday. You are allowed to sing your heart out. Here's what's going on today. We're going to see a beautiful day today. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-upper 60s this afternoon. Tomorrow does get a little cooler. Be aware of that. And tomorrow we've got about a 20% shot at seeing a couple of showers as a cold front comes through. Of course, I'm going to have more in the forecast after the break. We'll talk about today a little bit more in detail, and we'll let you know what to expect for the whole weekend ahead in my 7-day forecast coming up shortly. Welcome on back. Time now is 6:51 and we're planning out your day today as kids head off for that last day of school before a long Thanksgiving break. The bus ride in going to be on the cool side, 46 degrees. Lunchtime and recess, pretty nice, 65. Looks like an outdoor recess day. And as they're running off that bus home to get the break started, should be in the upper 60s and low 70s. The full 7-day forecast with details on the weekend is coming up next.
Now for the latest on the hostage situation today in Mali. 170 people were taken hostage by gunmen and now 80 have been freed. Cheryl Lassiter has more from the Alert Center. Cheryl.
Joy, this is taking place at the Radisson Hotel in Mali, which is in northwestern Africa. In this video, you can see police teams that are the equivalent to our SWAT teams moving in. We're now hearing in the Alert Center that an elite French unit which specializes in hostage situations is on its way to that hotel because this is an ongoing situation there. That hotel is American owned and some Americans do work there. 3 people have been killed in the hostage situation. None of those that are confirmed dead are American. The gunman had been yelling "God is great" in Arabic. those gunmen when they stormed the hotel today. That's the latest from the Alert Center.
All right, Cheryl, a Columbus man is behind bars for phoning in a bomb threat to a hospital. FBI agents arrested 25-year-old Michael Anthony Sparks of Columbus. He is charged with 1 count of false report of a bomb threat. Sparks utilized a wireless phone to call and threaten to blow up Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle in Columbus. If convicted, Sparks faces a maximum of 10 years in prison.
It's a federal crime to aim a laser pointer at an aircraft, but the problem is getting worse. FAA records show laser strike incidents were up to nearly 4,000 in the last 2 years, but they're up to more than 5,000 for this year. 20-year-old Landon Albritton of Terry was recently charged in a federal indictment for aiming a laser at an aircraft. Pilots like Coit Bailey say they don't think people realize just how dangerous laser pointers can be.
Lose your night vision when you lose vision in the cockpit, especially at certain phases of flight, landing and taking off, or at low altitudes. It would be essentially the same thing as losing your vision when you're driving an automobile.
Bailey says both commercial flights and helicopters have been victims of laser strikes.
Happening today, Adele's latest and highly anticipated album, 25, is set to be released, but don't look for it on music streaming services. The New York Times reported the singer has decided not to release it on streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music. The album, of course, will be pirated, though, published illicitly on file-sharing websites and on sites like YouTube. But her label has an aggressive plan in place to fight attempts to digitally steal the songs.
If you're just waking up, here's a quick look at some of this morning's top stories. Police have arrested a man for 2 separate homicides. Officers responded to the Shell gas station on Watkins Drive in Jackson and found a woman dead from a gunshot wound. Police arrested 22-year-old Zebulon James, and right now he's charged with 1 count of murder. In Ridgeland, though, Police Chief John Neal says James is also suspected in a shooting in the Logan's Roadhouse parking lot in that city. Chief Neal says a Missouri woman was shot while she was walking to the restaurant from the Drury Inn next door. And this morning, an apartment fire rekindled and 38 people are still without a place to live. It started sometime after 8 last night at the Morningside Apartments on Clinton Raymond Road. Early this morning, the fire reignited. We know multiple agencies responded to the scene last night and this morning, and we'll continue to stay on this story and bring you any updates as soon as they come into our newsroom. We've got one more look at traffic before you head out the door.
Jessica Golden has a live look from Skycopter 3. Jessica, how are things moving?
Well, Joy, things across most of the metro looking good on this Friday morning with Skycopter traffic.
Thanks, Jessica. So, Julie, we need to prepare for some frost this weekend.
Yeah, I would expect Sunday night into Monday morning is probably going to be that first frost, although it is going to be very cold Saturday night and Sunday morning. That's when we're going to dip into the low 30s. It's just going to be a little too windy for that frost to occur. The reason why it's going to be windy, well, on Saturday, a cold front's coming through. That's why there's that small chance for a passing shower. The temps are going to get pretty cold for Sunday, only in the low 50s, and since the winds will still be pretty blustery around 20 miles per hour, it's actually only going to feel like a high temperature in the 40s on Sunday.
All right. Well, lots of folks are going to be heading out this weekend to get the last-minute trimmings for Thanksgiving, right?
Lots of folks will be traveling, too, because lots of kids have a whole week off next week.
Yes,
and, of course,
indeed.
we'll keep you updated on that travel forecast all through the morning and all through next week as well.
So whatever you're doing this weekend, make sure you have a great one and bring it right back here bright and early Monday morning. We'll be here. Want to see you.